up, everyone? Happy new moon. See if this thing works. Not my norm. Kind of the old days. See if people even remember who I am. What's up? This is going to be what I call the weirdest new moon of all time. Literally. Bridge Expo was great. I was super sick though. So I'm recovering from being sick and I'm on my final stretch of my drive home. I'm just outside Tucson, Arizona, and on the final stretch. I pulled the hardcore stretch yesterday, but why is this new moon so gnarly? Well, one, police ahead. Well, I got this on. I'm good. We'll just blue cruise this bitch. You gotta admit, my mount is fucking amazing, but you gotta like through bolt this bitch in the fucking dash of on my F450. Fucking this shit's like solid. I can make this shit like fucking so solid. There we go. Yeah, that thing ain't fucking jumping around. All right, new moon, 28 degrees Libra. It happened 5 hours ago, and already the moon's jumped into Scorpio. This new moon's in the middle of this big T-square with Jupiter in Cancer. And it's Jupiter that's in square to Chiron. I do have fucking my hands on the steering wheel, but keep both hands. Shut the fuck up. Resume control. Piece of shits. Fuck that. So I wanted to bring up one. That's not even the big dynamic. There's actually like 3 major dynamics happening in this new moon. And this new moon in Libra is like trying to balance it all out. And it's almost impossible to balance it out. So one is like, how do we stay balanced in this time? It's sloppy. Neptune's going to retrograde back into Pisces at some sign. We've all never lived through that. Okay. Number one, never lived through that. Last time that happened was all the way back in 1861. Good time. It's been a long time. So this Libra is trying to balance. Okay, the ruler of Pisces is coming back in, and oh, by the way, Saturn's retrograde in there. Hasn't been retrograde after being in Aries since 1937, and Neptune and Saturn are together again. Now they're coming back together again, but retrograde in Pisces. Oh, with the North Node. So there's that whole dynamic. Oh, I see. That's where the copy is right there. Good thing I got radar detector. But this Jupiter Chiron square, I mean, Jupiter is the only thing that makes Chiron's story work out. So Chiron was being stuck in Aries for so long, since 2018, then officially 2019, right? This is where Chiron's like, I just want out of this fucker. And you know, Chiron's a warrior, but he's also a philosopher, right? He knows so much. So he likes his warrior side, but he also likes he's divided by two parts, right? He's a centaur and a human, like right. He's a half man, half horse, and so you could say that the warrior aspect could be one side or the other. But the problem is that the warrior doesn't want to have to go through mortality, especially if you're immortal. And Jupiter's the only one that can deliver his immortality back after he loses it. So we're realizing how mortal we are in time, especially time is a big part of this. Saturn and Neptune getting ready in just months to conjunct finally at zero Aries. But we have a going back into Pisces with Neptune, and dispositing wise, it becomes the highest in the hierarchy of disposition. Everything will come back to Neptune again. And we've been 6 months, 6.5 months with Neptune and Aries since March 31st. And I think people have totally forgot it. It's like really, when you're in a, like you're in a really weird, bad place, you just kind of like, and it's been long enough, you're like, I don't want to go back. And then but we all have to go back to Neptune and Pisces. Of course, there's great things that happen with Neptune and Pisces, but at the same time, with Saturn that's retrograde there, the North Node that's there, a lot of things have to end. So it's like the big endings of the thing that we thought are ending are coming. And it's the stuff that you don't want to subconsciously face, the stuff that you just are like in denial over, the stuff that looks like it looks like it's going to be fine. Uh-uh. That was Neptune and Aries delusionally thinking the ego. Oh, it looks like it'll be fine. We can just move forward. Everything will be fine. No, all the stuff that has to end is going to end now, and that also is kicked in by the fact that just on October 13th, less than 2 weeks ago, direct in Aquarius for the first time in our lives. Of course, it's also been out of bounds in a rare occurrence that will be a rare occurrence for the next 1,000 years. So it's not some Pluto thing here. This is like done his job in Capricorn and just like cut everything off at the knees of all these systems and all these structures and all this greed and all this like really like not in alignment on the physical realm that's not going to be sustainable long term. It's just not. Never was, right? Never could stand the test of time. So Pisces is the dissolver, the great dissolver, especially Neptune. And so Neptune and Saturn together in Pisces, both retrograde. There's a lot of this now. Neptune's the ruler of Pisces, so it's going to come back in. This new moon's like trying to grapple all that, grapple the ego getting completely destroyed with Chiron and Aries and Jupiter and Cancer being like, sorry, I'm not there to emotionally support you. There's no emotional support for your ego at all. So you can complain all you want about something. It's kind of interesting too. I've been really sick. My family's been sick. Everybody at the conference told me they were sick the week prior or 2 weeks ago. People are verifying to me on High Vibe on the other side of the world. They're sick. Everybody's been sick in the last week or two. All with Jupiter square Chiron, right? Well, what is Jupiter and Chiron together in a good way? I mean, we had them together in Aries. I mean, that was kind of like this idea that, hey, we can get through the shit that we didn't think we could get through after this whole pandemic bullshit. That was Jupiter Chiron. That was, you know what? Thank God, finally, some people finally got the gist. And it's okay. Some people just need to take a little bit of time in 2020, 2021, 2022. By 23 with Jupiter Chiron, they finally were like, I don't need to wear a mask, I guess. Yeah, you didn't need the fucking, you had natural oxygen. What? God, gee, what? I don't need a fucking vaccine. Oh my God. Chiron Chiron's a healer. And so the deepest wounds right now are in our ego. And why does Aries and Aries and Cancer square? You can't emotionally house an ego. Whether it's somebody in your life, you can't emotionally like hold an egoic person, right? You can't emotionally back up your ego, right? Because your ego is gonna fucking make moves that your emotions can't cash, right? You can't pay the debt on emotionally for egoic moves in life. And so what's happening is like Neptune brought so much delusion to people that, nope, this ain't going to end. Because you got to go back to the fact that Neptune's stint in Aries was a beginning of a cycle, but before one can begin, one has to end. And it's in the sign of endings, Pisces. It's the most dramatic events happen in history with Neptune at the end of Pisces, ingressing into Aries full time, mixed with Pluto at the same time, right? We've seen this before. This is when the church broke up. This is when people finally woke up that the Catholic Church was crazy in the 1530s, 1533 and 34, right? We've seen it other times in history too, but I'm just saying that like this is where now it's going to get more intense. That Saturn's and Neptune are going to meet in February. First time at zero Aries in 6,400 years. Now you got to also mix into the fact that this new moon in Libra is in square to Pluto. And so the balance that has to be understood is that the only way to move forward is by things that are going to look different, and we're going to have to learn to emotionally disconnect from. Pluto in Aquarius is not compatible. Like Pluto, I would say, is at fall position in Aquarius, right? Pluto is ruled by is the ruler of Scorpio. It is intense emotions. It is bonding, commitment, shared energy. And Aquarius is like, I don't have to share. I don't have to be part of this little group. Oh, you guys are all wearing this. I'm going to try and be unique by making my hair purple, right? It doesn't want to share that. The more people have purple hair, the more it turns its hair orange, right? Why do people with a lot of tattoos are Aquarian or have Aquarian planets? Because that's their way of trying to make them different than the crowd. It's not so much about bonding into one, right? But they love when people are unique and come together in a natural form. Now, Pluto likes that too. Pluto doesn't want it forced. And so that's where they can work together. So even the most incompatible planets and signs and so forth have always a place where they can relate and where they do not relate at all. Even planets in their dignity, right, have some issue. More not, but you can always find a way to connect. So if we think of it like the balanced state, okay, in order for us to even like accept and receive the life we really want right now and the connection to life in our future, it's going to look way different. And maybe the way that we think that we're supposed to bond or connect to our future isn't going to connect exactly and look the way that we exactly want to. We got to get our own ego out of the way, right? We're going to have to like harmonize into this, and it's sloppy. Neptune retrograding back today into Pisces. This new moon is saying that. It's also interesting, right? This new moon, quincunx Neptune. The sun forming and beginning to step into a Yod with Uranus in Gemini and Neptune in Aries. And so this is a very hot zone, the end of Libra, beginning of Scorpio right now. Not only is Pluto squaring that spot, but you have Uranus and Neptune. So all three outer planets are making hard aspects. And so what do these two signs represent? How we have to connect with something outside of just ourselves and change and integration. How it connects with another, how it shares and how it relates, how the compare and the contrast go. It's not just only about your world, your life, your way. And Jupiter in Cancer is looking to defend its nest, right? It's the mama fucking huge head with like 18 fucking eggs like sitting on it. Like, oh no, I'm not, nobody have any scrambled eggs this morning. Because that little hen has plans for those little chicks. But not all, I learned this in kindergarten, not all eggs in the incubator hatch. Not all eggs hatch. So Jupiter's having that issue during this new moon too, right? It has its own story. So we're going to go through a lot of discomfort, but it's actually the more that we let go of the stuff that we have set in our mind, especially in our egos, it has to go this way. It has to look this way, and just let that be like, you know what? Let's see what the fuck better could show up. There's got to be a better path forward. The more that you surrender to that, and the more that you allow that to actually form, then you'll start to find balance somewhere, although it's going to be very messy. Very messy. Sloppy. Neptune and Pisces is sloppy, right? It's like going back to the drug house you never wanted to go back to. The bigger difference is, are you going to do the drugs while you're in there? Are you going to try and clean it up? Or is it one of those messes where you just walk away? Well, if you think about humanity, you think about the earth, we just can't walk away. So there's definitely, you know, shit that has to be fucking handled that's really sloppy. And we're going to have to do that with intellect, not emotion, right? We're going to have to do that with intellect. That's what this grand trine we've been seeing with all the Libra energy and Uranus for its small state in Gemini right now. And of course, Pluto's officially holding space there. See, there we go. There's a radar. You know, you're going to have to like use your mind. You can't just get lost in your emotion. That's very interesting as well, since Pluto did not, of course, come back into Capricorn this year. So it's not some grounding force that's going to survive and keep us alive. And there's a lot of people addicted to groundedness. Like, stay grounded through this time. There's nothing to ground to. Okay? We're going to have to start looking at what's a new innovative way, what new innovative approach, what's trying something different. And that's scary for what feels naturally within our comfort zones. We got to break those, right? So you're not going to be perfect when it comes to finding this balance at all, but you can at least find center and move the gimbal, as things go. At least, we have Uranus for a little bit longer in Gemini to at least come up with some really cool ideas. But, this yod that's formed with this new moon, it's going to be technically more when the sun progresses to 29 degree and into zero Scorpio, and especially as Neptune retrogrades back to 29 Pisces, which is all happening within less than 24 hours of the new moon. And I think what it's saying is you're going to have to find balance where you don't have all the answers, and it's sloppy the more that you try and fall for the delusion of your ego, and also not pay attention to what has closed that needs to close fully in your life. And that could be relationships, especially. It's not going to affect everybody on the relationship front. A lot of it could be like new relationship within yourself, new relationship on how you're dealing with reality itself, your job. Although it's kind of interesting, yeah, Saturn being in Pisces retrograde, now Neptune, it's definitely going to expose the denial about the job market, right? But it's gonna be difficult for people who really hold on too tight, because that's what Pluto and Capricorn, and it's, we're coming up to a year next month on the 19th, with Pluto being in Aquarius a full year, and we're already done. There's no way it's coming back. So it's kind of an interesting timing. October, really the setup to like a loading program that's just off to the side. Like we got off the old world, and then we got into this like mini loading program that was like training. And also, don't buy this as the main platform of what the future is. Here's some glimpses, but this ain't it. And now it's like hopping us off in what feels like the trash truck reality, like as if the trash bin's gonna just like, here you go. And you can't buy that either. It's more like, no, this is the recycle bin. So all the files that are no longer going to be in this reality, and the systems and the programs and the cache systems of all this like data that we've like let these programs in our lives kind of run and accumulate data with, and really don't even mean anything for the new stuff. Because if you understand computing, you would understand that it's probably funny, because I used to fix people's computers all the time, right? But most people probably, they don't buy computers with enough like hard drive space, right? They buy a Mac Air with 256 gigs, and then they try to edit videos, and they wonder, where'd all my data go? Did you check your cache in your Premiere Pro? Oh yeah, that's right. You gotta like clear the cache out. All those videos for the last 2 months you did, it's keeping a bunch of data there to make it quicker to load. You gotta empty all that shit out. And they don't make it easy unless you go into your own settings in the app and fucking do all that stupid shit. Set it to a certain, but most people don't do any of that shit. Most people are just blind. What? That's what subconscious really is cached memory. So we're all jumping onto this place where we're going to feel more lost than we've ever felt. But the positive in this, in the way you stay balanced, is go, hold on a second. In order for us to get to that new energy, we had to jump into this new. Now we're going back to the old to dump everything off. So then we get into the new, which has a lot of unknowns. There's not a lot of for sure's over there. And as an astrologer to say that, that's always a very weird thing. Usually it's like based off the way things run for so long, there's a lot of for sure's. We're in the ending of a lot of the for sure's, right? An actual, like legit, like, oh, well, this will always for sure be around. No, it won't. No, it won't. You know, I think it could be a smooth ride, but it's going to have some fucking bumps for everybody. Whether, anybody who's trying to say that they're going to ride this bitch out perfect is a fucking liar. This is reframing everything, but it's going to feel a little bit like an acid flashback. So think, think of this, okay? This was like the most revolutionary thing I had to say, and then of course my phone goes fucking blank, and then now it's back. Give me a sec. It's gonna have to come back to me. Oh, I was just staying at a hotel in Tucson, and this morning, in order to wake up, I ordered room service. That's the only way to wake me up. My poor wife has to wake me up. I have ADHD horribly. I'm a son in the 12th house. You have every alarm. Everybody who knows me, you got 15 alarms. Oh, Bucky's 979 miles the other way. I love that. That's a good fucking advertisement. But anyway, fucking, that's so fucking Pisces. Back that way again, 970. What? We have to go back there? Yeah. But what's crazy is that I'm watching and a fucking commercial came on and it was for Safe Flight. And I know this might sound stupid, but Safe Flight Repair, they fix your windshields for people who don't want to get the manufacturer windshield, right? You don't want to pay the full pop. So you want some fucking company that uses the cheapest resin and the cheapest glass to just replace it. It has no UV filtration. It's not meant for the car. It doesn't help with the sound. If anything, you're just doing a temporary Band-Aid. Okay? Or you want to fix a crack. Well, it doesn't fix the crack. It fixes the structure of the crack. You'll still see some of the crack. It doesn't do the cosmetic. But at least it won't let it crack anymore. That company is now posting on advertising on TV. I haven't watched TV commercials in a minute. That you can make 4 interest-free payments. Time ago, Safe fucking windshield ever. You don't go to fucking disposal lots of fucking cars anymore. It's pissed. Okay, you can't just like do that. So we're talking like $100 windshields. People can't afford a $100 windshield. If people can't do that, just watch the domino effect that's going to happen with Neptune and Pisces. Everything that's been propping up, we're fine. It has no value anymore. So what'll be interesting is like, will Safe Flight make it? Maybe. There's no for sure. Because I actually think something like that is valuable. If somebody can't afford the OEM windshield, they don't want to pay their insurance too high, that's probably the only game in town. But people aren't buying that. They can't afford that. Or people are just driving around. And I've been noticing it a lot lately because I drive a lot and I see it. People just drive around with fucking cracked windshields everywhere. I'm like, this is fucking we live in a weird world. Like, get your damn windshield fixed. But no, they're at the bar for fucking like 6 times a week, or they buy fucking, I don't know, bottles of alcohol, or they buy fucking 12 packs. I don't even know. I haven't drank in over 10 years. So whatever you're drinking or whatever you're smoking all day, you can't get your windshield fixed. So it's almost kind of like priorities on the humans. Like, where are your priorities spiritually at? Like, your alcohol is more important than your windshield. Okay, we'll see how that goes. So some businesses that do good might not make it because of people. And the ones that are really bad are just sucking up people's fucking energy. And that's what will continue. It all really depends on where people really feel and where society really feels like it's going to go in this next last round. I'm not going to be surprised with Neptune retrograding back into Pisces that people numb themselves the fuck out over the next 90 days. Because one thing's for damn sure, during the last recession in America, the alcohol companies, that's actually the big boom of marijuana was actually during that, and head shops and shit. Because head shops used to be in 2006, 2007, like very few. But they exploded in '08 and '09. And then the idea of like, medical marijuana had been around, but it became like, okay, this shit's going to happen, right? So people decided during weird times like that, like, let's just fucking numb ourselves out. I don't want to deal with the job crisis. I don't want to deal with all that shit, right? And I see that coming 10 times more in the next 90 days. 10 times more. People are going to just want to not face whatever they're not facing within themselves. So maybe it's like, stop looking outside and look inside. What are you too afraid to face? Because out of balance is not facing the in as much as the out. And I think this has been the weirdest Libra transit I've ever experienced in my life, because it has had no idea of what to contrast with Neptune opposite as we went through the equinox in Libra. And hence, that was when the Civil War became real 6 months in. And now you look at every state gerrymandering, and all the liberal states already had gerrymandered so long ago. They're all upset that the right wing is doing it. And then California is like getting rid of the independent, or they're trying to, under the name of democracy, at getting rid of it. It's fucking weird, right? So this is going to be where people are going to just want going, you know what, I'm going to numb out. And I'm telling you to not fucking numb out. Like, you can choose to go focus on your inner spiritual life. That's fine. Just don't go numb out. Don't start giving up. Because really, what's going to survive to the new world by, February, Saturn, Neptune at 0 Aries, but there's a Mercury retrograde that follows that in Pisces to kind of clear up all the fucking goop, all the fucking dirty underwear and shit out of this drug bin reality we live in. And we have Uranus that will finally ingress back into Gemini by the end of April. So really, it's like from now until Taurus season, your only way to survive is to not give up and to not numb out. That's all you're going to have. And it's going to be super sensitive And it's going to be like, I just want to bug out. I just want to, with Pluto and Aquarius officially, that's gone direct there now. And Neptune coming back into Pisces. We never felt that yet. Woo. That's like, I want to bug out. People are going to be like, I want out. I want out. I'm going to leave the country. I'm going to leave this. I'm going to leave this. I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave. Right? It's like, okay, is that going to be good for your survival? Is that going to be good for your life? Is that a balance? Is that a balanced idea? Or is that like you trying to tilt the scale so much and thinking that it's going to balance it out? You can't, if the scales are too far tipped, you have to slowly let weight off, because then you'll flop all the stuff off on the other side of the scale, and then it's a balanced scale with nothing. And if people do that in their lives, then well, you start over in every way. And I don't want that to happen to people. You want to at least come into this new world with the things that are spiritually aligned to move forward, and you can't give up. And the number one sign of giving up is going to be numbing out. The number one sign of giving up is going to be just, you know what? I'm just going to like numb out and not give a fuck. I'm just going to just 7 OP or something that the kids are taking at those fucking stores. Like, what? We are in a weird reality. And so, like, we have to remember too that, like, justice, everybody wants justice for what? Things have been unfair. Well, first, check in on where you've been unfair to yourself. Instead of getting all lost in a justice warrior shit. You know, like, it's going to feel like we're going to come to the edge of the cliff, even though we've been there the whole time. It's just fine that you're taking the fucking blinders off. We've been at the edge. But part of numbing out is hear no evil, see no evil. Right? You're just one of the fucking monkeys. I don't hear it. I don't see it. I don't smell it. I don't taste it. You're just one of those fucking monkeys. I don't see anything bad. I don't want to hear anything bad. The whole part of Pisces is about taking in all of it. All of it. That's what's hard about the quincunx between Libra and Pisces, because it's like Libra's very cardinal, air. I want to see the contrast of the day and the night. And I understand that there's this gray because I'm balancing night and day. Where Pisces is like, this is the widest place of the whole system, the whole universe, like this wide universe. How do I understand it all? You can't balance it all out, right? If you look farther than just the night and the day or the sunset, there's a lot more going on than just that, right? So, and this isn't about being tough. If we were to replace it tough with what tough really is right now, is like honoring your soul by not having the blinders on, by not having the earplugs blocking sound from the world, so you hear everything in your life, so you're aware of everything, right? But you can't numb out. You can't be like, I'm too sensitive, that's too loud. I'm too sensitive, that's too weird looking. You need to be able to see it all in order for you to actually understand what the fuck's going on. Straight up. So And everything that you think it was going to be the last 6 months, crypto, all this shit, huh? The future and what it holds and what it looks like is any of our egos have placed an order for are going to receive. So whatever you think this transit's about, it's about your ego being so fucking humbled about its the ego trying to define the future on your own terms and how you see it yourself in there. And this is where like this idea of manifestation is bullshit, worked in the old system. It now has to be collaborative. Where do you fit in the universe in the whole, opposed to where do you try to control the universe around you? And again, all the manifestation people are like, oh my God, like you guys are fucking egoic pieces of shit. But you guys won't admit it yet. You're trying to wrap the universe around you. You have to be part of a greater universe. You're lucky you're in it. You're a small speck in all of it. That doesn't give away your power, though, and how amazing you are as a soul. But it has to be reciprocal. Like, have you asked what is spirit? What is the wider universe want you to be in? Have you asked, or have you just been asking for your own self? What you see. So it's okay for all of us to get humbled. Just don't get fucking humbled like hardcore, because that means you're in Delulu land. And it's tough for everyone. Everybody's going to feel more tired, even more. We've already gone through so much. And it's like, you're telling me it's going to be rougher? Yeah, it's going to get rougher because of how many blinders have been on and continue to stay on. Right. So, well, that's my new moon horoscope. I wasn't able to film. I could barely talk yesterday and Sunday night, or Sunday night. Yeah, today's Tuesday. And I woke up and could talk this morning. So, nothing a little desert air can't help. And spinning up phlegm for a couple days nonstop. And sending my best. I hope everybody handles this all good. And yeah, I'm so excited to see my family. To leave my family for the first time like this was a humbling experience, to say the least. And it was sad, but it's also part of life too. So it's a hard one, but it's not easy FaceTiming your kids, especially they've been sick. Sophia's been sick, so to not be able to be there for them, you know. And I've been sick too. It's like fuck. So, all right, everyone. Much love to you all, and I'll talk about 3i Atlas stuff in the next day or two. Um, all right. Well.